Spring maintenance number 2. This is my 1974 Flandria SP747. This is a Belgian-made bike, 50cc 4-speed. It has the nickname Fristy. It came out the factory with a more purplish color, but it all got sun faded into pink. This is more the color when it came out of the factory. It looks pretty cool, I think, in pink. It has a cool patina. I've already went ahead and cleaned it up a bit, removed the dust and a bit of grime. Currently, this thing also doesn't run due to a clogged carburetor. Same issue as with the Zedelgem. Apparently the fuel pad cock was still open. That's cool. So here we are also going to remove the carburetor and clean it out so it will run again. Check the spark plug. Oil should be fine because of the spring maintenance last year. This fuel pad cock has to be replaced if I remember correctly. I don't know if the fuel tank is close to empty or not. Probably not. So let's go ahead and remove the carburetor and start cleaning it. So here again, remove the throttle slide. This is a generic throttle slide, not the funky one like the Zedelgem. And then 2 M5 bolts here. And the carb should be clear. One tiny little carburetor. It's an encarwi carburetor. I think this is the 10 or 12 millimeter. I would have to measure it. It has a tiny inlet manifold here. Oh, I never checked this. So the inlet manifold, or the inlet port for the cylinder is actually way bigger. So this one has been detuned in the past. It has a tiny inlet piece and a tiny inlet carburetor. Maybe I should check if I have a bigger one. I have a couple of spares of these. Maybe I should check if I have a 14 maybe. Maybe give this bike a little bit more punch. Although this bike runs a perfectly legal 54 or 50. Yeah, it's probably a 10. I'm measuring a bit under 10 millimeters. I think I have 12 and 14 millimeter carburetors from this brand. I'll have to check. Maybe we can get this thing back to running as it should. Well, it runs fine, but yeah, we'll see. So let's clean this. Let's open this thing and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner. So the carburetor is all cleaned up. I'm sorry I didn't film the installation because my battery ran out. But this is one of the simplest carburetor I know. You have the float here with its needle to block the fuel feed. The fuel bowl cover and its gasket. Just put it on here. So everything has been cleaned in the ultrasonic cleaner, as well as with compressed air to remove any blockage. So the fuel feed has this tiny little screen, it's a sort of filter to block any debris that's coming in. Then we have this banjo bolt. Well, actually, the filter has to go in the banjo bolt, like so. There we go. And then here the main jet exists out of 2 pieces. Just screw this one in. and the main jet screws in here. So that's basically it. That's why this carburetor is so simple. Also, a big advantage from this carburetor is that you can actually remove the main jet without removing the entire carburetor. If you're stuck down the road with a blocked jet, you can easily screw it out and just blow it out on the side of the road. That's that. So let's put this thing back together. We got the throttle slide. Here you can see the slide has a groove in it, and in the slide tube from the carburetor there is a little tab here. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but basically the groove matches with the slide, so you can't put this thing in wrong. This way it won't go in. It has to go like this. For some reason this carburetor has some cork gaskets on the washers for mounting. I'm not sure why, because I don't think there will be a leak there, but if they did it back then, I'll do it again now. There we go, all tight. Reconnect the fuel line and open it up. I'm going to take the bike off the lift because this thing has way too much compression and not enough gear reduction on the Kickstarter to push it by hand. So let's lower it. Woo. First kick. Nice. Oh, need to readjust the idle maybe just a little bit. Cool, let's take this thing out. Well, we just got stranded here and I think there's not enough fuel coming through. I did forget to replace the fuel filter and it's biting me now. Well, that didn't go to plan, did it? Got back after a 15-minute walk and pulled out the main jet. There was actually still a little bit of debris in there, or at least some new debris. Cleaned it out again and removed the old fuel filter. Where is it? Here. I'm going to replace this one with a new because for some reason I forgot it. I've removed the fuel pad cock and drained the fuel. Or at least this should have been fuel. Looks all grimy and greasy. I found a new fuel pad cock in my part supply. If you are into mopeds or vintage bikes or anything, a great tip that I can give you is get some of these supplies in stock, like fuel pad cocks, spark plugs, some basic stuff, because you'll always end up needing these. And if you don't have them, you're stuck. And there's nothing more annoying than getting stuck mid-project or mid-build or mid-whatever. So I always keep these in stock. This is actually the last one I have, so I'll have to remind myself to order some new one. And let's fit this up. Right, so this nut has actually a left-handed and a right-handed thread in it. So you have to rotate the nut onto the fuel tank as normal, but you have to then turn the fuel petcock in reverse to actually tighten it in the nut. So basically, if you hold the fuel petcock straight, you can rotate the nut and that should tighten it. There we go. I think that should be it. This fuel petcock has a tiny fuel filter built in, but I'm still going to run a inline fuel filter just for a good measurement. Here you can see the arrow. So this is the fuel flow like this. So this side has to go on here. And then this one goes on the petcock. And then what do we need? Something like this. Should be fine. Fuel lines are all brand new. Let's take her down, fill her up, and see if she wants to go again. Oh, we are dripping fuel. Oh shit. Okay, so I removed the rubber O-ring that's on the bottom here of the fuel bowl of the petcock. I'm going to try and replace it with a new paper gasket ring, whatever. I'm going to try and bootleg it like this, so hopefully this will stay sealed up. I have my doubts. I think this is threaded all the way in, but the gasket won't be crushed or won't be sealed against the petcock. Yeah, no, it's leaking. Yeah, it's still leaking. God damn it. Maybe a rubber O-ring. Okay, this fits pretty snugly. Another example of keeping a bit of supplies, set of O-rings, always helps me out. Nope. Oh, come on, why? God damn it. Note to self. Fuck these puke. Don't ever buy these fuel petcocks with a filter in it. Although it's the first time I have this. Damn, it's such a bummer. Alright, let's drain this again and try to clean up the old fuel petcock. I don't know. So this is the old fuel petcock. It's already been in the ultrasonic cleaner. As you can see, it's pretty clean. But look at this. All of this junk and gunk is in there. I'm going to try and scrape as much out as I can and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner again. Reserve. Whew, big chunk came out. We got a lot of dirt out. Maybe this thing is savable. So, again, a little supply of a bit of everything. This was probably too small. This might work. So same thing here, it's actually a reverse thread or left-handed. Depends on how you want to look at it. Okay, here we go. Let's try this as quick as possible. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, it's empty. Okay. Let's see if this thing will close, I guess. Or I mean, hold fuel. There's no bowl that can leak, so that's one thing. Okay, no leaks yet. Let's see if fuel, okay, fuel comes out both sides. Regular and reserve. Let's connect it back up. Seems to work perfect. Huh, okay, cool. Well, that should be it then for the spring maintenance number 2 on Fristy here. I guess that's it. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you liked it, if you learned something from this. And if you want to see more of my spring maintenance, we still have quite some bikes to go. So subscribe if you want to see more, and see you in the next one. Ciao.